Hey guys, so this video I'm doing a breakdown of Meregali versus Felipe Andrew. I just chose three clips from the match that I thought were really good to break down. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. I'm also going to mix in some clips from the mat where I can actually go through the positions and mix it in with the video. Also, if you guys have noticed, I'm doing a lot of live streams now, so be sure to click the bell button if you want to get a notification before I start the next one. All right, so let's start off by looking at this cool sweep setup here. Right there. All right. So basically what's going on here is that Meregali is trying to play De La Hiva, and you can see with his left arm, he's looking to try to get like a high lapel grip. If we back it up just a little bit here, he's trying to work to get a high lapel grip. So it's hard to get the high lapel grip sometimes when the guy's posturing up a lot like that. So what Meregali does is he's going to feed this low lapel grip here to his right hand like this. It's much easier to feed that grip than it is to get a high collar grip. And also what it does, you can't just posture out of it to break it easily. And then it makes it later when Meregali goes back for the collar grip, it's easier to achieve. So that's what he's using it there to set up. So now he's going to later use this to hit the sweep that we just saw. So what happens is now that he can pull on that collar here, he can kind of get this forward bump here and start pulling. So he gets the collar grip again, pulls him down here, off balances Felipe Andrew forward. As Felipe Andrew comes back, it's a very common trend when you have that hard collar pull where people are going to want to posture back up hard. So what Meregali's doing is he's using his right knee here to keep a really strong pressure on his knee. And then now when he postures, he's going to use this left leg to clip his leg out really quick right there. And because he has that lapel grip, once he falls down, he can loop this right leg inside. He's going to come up into a good single leg grip with the lapel feed, which makes it harder to step out of right here. All right, so let's look at that on the mat.
All right, so what's happening here is Meregali is trying to get this collar grip to break his posture, but he keeps posturing and breaking up. So he's going to grab this low lapel grip here and feed it to this left hand in the leg hug de la Hiva. The reason he does this is it makes it harder for him to posture up, and now when I get this grip, it's much harder to break. So as he gets it, he's going to trap the legs, start grabbing the leg. Meregali bumps here and gets this leg back out, right? So one of the common things people will do when you're here, right, is they posture up to try to break this. When I have this leg hug, just like in the last De La Hiva video, I talk about keeping this strong knee pressure here, creates almost like a knee bar pressure. So as the guy postures up, I'm gonna clip with this butterfly hook, and that's gonna knock the guy back down. They can fall in different angles. Usually if you hit it hard enough, you can knock them down here. And now this left leg can loop in. So as he starts to come back up, this is already gonna function as a strong single leg grip with the lapel. So now I can push and stand up here and start to finish the sweep.
All right, so the next clip we're going to look at here is going to be an Omoplata setup. So right here, Meregali often likes to go for the Omoplata while setting it up from De La Hiva. So he gets this far sleeve grip, and then he switches his left hand to the collar to attack an Omoplata from collar sleeve. The difficulty here is Felipe Andrew is again standing really tall, so it's hard to get that collar grip. So what Meregali ends up doing is he goes for this mermaid sweep where he kind of locks close guard around the guy's knees, and he's going to knock him over, forcing him to post the hand. Once he goes here, he is now lower base because he knocked him over. He can switch it to get a really good cross collar grip, right? So now he's got the collar sleeve here. He unlocks and starts chasing into the omoplata. He's going to get his left foot on the bicep here. Once he gets that foot on the bicep, he can use that to step to lift his hip up to chase the omoplata. This is another thing I really like to do is he gets this leg over the back rather than going directly for the omoplata. If you go directly for the omoplata, sometimes people can posture out really easily, but when you lock over the back, it's a lot heavier on their back, and you can kind of get a good position, and then when you're ready, you switch over to the regular omoplata here. You see him do this against Muhammad Ali as well. And here he kind of goes for the sweep here. I think Felipe Andrew gets out at the last second, but same idea. All right, let's look at that on the mat.
So another common thing Meregali will do is he'll get this sleeve from De La Hiva here and he'll push the hip out, and then often he'll switch to this cross collar grip to go for his collar sleeve omoplata game, right? But the difficulty here sometimes is the guy's posturing up a lot, so it's hard to get a good collar grip. So in this case, Felipe Andrew had his knees kind of close together, so Meregali switches to this closed guard around the knees like a mermaid seat, and then kind of bumps him over. As he catches his balance here, it makes it easier to switch to this collar grip. Now I can switch in with the shield and start pushing on the hip, and then this transitions into the omoplata position. Another major thing here is when he goes for the omoplata, this is something I like to do as well, is instead of going immediately for the full finish, because guys start posturing up a little bit like this, is he bites over the back with this leg, right? And when you bite over the back with this leg, it's much harder to posture, and even if he does go ahead and lift me, right, it's very hard. It's easy for me to follow because I'm taking the weight with my leg instead of my arm, right? And once you can get back far enough, then you can switch the leg over and turn it into the regular omoplata attack.
All right, so this time we're going to be looking at Meregali going for his classic deep lace with the cross sleeve. So one thing he's doing here I really like is he's using this leg hug grip with a strong knee pressure, which makes it very difficult to push that leg down. And when they do, it always exposes that cross sleeve grip. So it's hard to see at this angle. I'll show it on the mat in a second. When Felipe Andrew uses his left hand to push this De La Hiva leg down, you'll see Meregali catches this sleeve. So he's got the sleeve now. So this is a really key detail. Is Meregali, it's hard to see at this angle, again, I'll show on the mat, but he gets his lift off of the non-De La Hiva leg off of his thigh here. That makes a much more powerful lift. It makes it easy to lace both legs deep. If you don't have that and you try to deep lace, sometimes the guy can backstep. But here, if the guy backsteps, he's basically deep in a berimbolo, or will even give up mount or close guard. So it's very difficult. Meregali is really good at using this. So now here he's got that left leg high over the knee line. Notice kind of Meregali's doing this on the opposite side from normal. So he goes here, and then now there's a few different ways to finish this. He's going to switch up to double butterfly hooks in a second here. And now he's able to come up, and he starts to work for the back here. This is a very common, let me back it up real quick. So very common hook to use here where you thread that right hook in and you catch the back leg and then try to drag the guy to the floor. I think he ends up taking him down, but they go out of bounds here using that same hook. All right, let's look at it on the mat.
Okay, so in this clip, Meregali's going for the deep lace with the cross sleeve. So he's doing this leg up here, and again, I like to keep that strong knee pressure because the person will want to push down on the knee. When they push on the knee, it's much easier to break this. If you're just on the ankle and he grabs lower, it can be a little bit harder to break. But this strong knee pressure here makes it very easy. So now he gets this. Once he gets this, he's going to go for the deep lace, and you can see it in the video. He's doing it on the opposite side. I'm just doing it on my left side. He did it on the right side. Once he goes for the deep lace, he gets his leg across this thigh. It makes a huge difference because sometimes if you lace here, the guy can push the leg down afterwards. When you go here, you get a much higher deep lace like this. So he goes here and gets this deep lace. There's a lot of different responses a guy can have, but just keep your balance on top. Here, he keeps his balance like this, and eventually he switches his hand up to the hip here, comes around here, switches for the butterfly hooks. Felipe Andrew stays forward and tall like this, so then he ends up standing up and then chasing the back standing.